Republican National Committee Senior Advisor Danielle Alvarez. Great to see you this morning, Danielle. So as you know, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, they say Democrats in the House and Senate are on the same page, but some of the items on their wish list are non-starters for Republicans, including the ban on agents wearing masks. So where do you see any of these negotiations heading?
Well, the reality is that Republicans control Congress, and so we need to make sure to fund our Department of Homeland Security. It's what the American people expect. The Department of Homeland Security not only has ICE as one of its agencies, it does Customs and Border Patrol, it does counterterrorism, it does airport security through the TSA, it includes the Coast Guard. So it is fundamentally critical that we fund DHS. By the way, it was a mandate of the American people. What we are doing, deporting the tens of millions of criminal illegal aliens that came under Joe Biden's open border and failed administration, is what the American people voted for.
Yeah, Danielle, I mean, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries both say without reforms to Homeland Security, Democrats will vote no on funding. They also claim Americans oppose the president's border enforcement operations. Take a listen.
Trump understands that the public is not with the administration's cruel and chaotic policies here, and that we actually need to restore law and order as it relates to how we proceed. And we're ready to proceed in good faith.
How about restoring law and order of not attacking law enforcement agents? What do you think, Danielle?
Yeah, all of a sudden, Democrats are trying to become the party of law and order. When we saw crime spike, when we saw our border open, we saw fentanyl come in, we saw our enemies and our rivals strengthened under their failure, under their leadership in the Biden administration. It's such a joke. Democrats are constantly looking for the PR play. They're constantly looking for the soundbite. What the American people voted for, and it was clear last November, was securing our border, stopping the flow of fentanyl, which the president has done. Fentanyl overdoses are down, and deporting criminal, illegal aliens to the tunes of tens of millions that came in under Joe Biden's failure and their failure.
So I want to switch gears here because, as you know, the Supreme Court yesterday said California can use its newly redrawn congressional maps for the midterms, likely turning 5 red seats blue. There are also plans in Maryland and Virginia for Democrats to redraw their maps to remove Republicans. Is it time for states like Indiana, Ohio, and Florida to step up and redistrict? Because clearly the Democrats here have no problem gerrymandering.
It's absolutely been time. We know that Democrats have gerrymandered their states. I mean, they couldn't carve out more Democrat votes if they tried. And so it's very important that Republicans take a look at the way that they have drawn their congressional seats in their states, make sure that it's fair, make sure that it's representative of the people. Because, again, it's what Democrats are doing in California and other states is appalling. It doesn't give a fair chance to voters to have representation in Congress.
Yeah, I want to switch your gears real quick now to what's going to be likely the most highly watched Senate race during these midterms in North Carolina. You've got the Democrat Senate candidate Roy Cooper accused of releasing repeat offender DeCarlos Brown Jr. early from jail as part of a COVID-era settlement. Now, this move was apparently signed by Governor Cooper when he was governor, and you know Brown allegedly then went on to kill the Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutka in that cold blood and on that Charlotte train. Cooper denies releasing Brown early. What do you make of these new reports?
Well, Cooper is absolutely lying. I have seen the first page of the list myself, by the way, marked confidential. This was all part of a settlement where he colluded with the ACLU. Instead of fighting in court, he agreed in a settlement with the ACLU to release 3,500 inmates from prison. And then he spent years trying to make sure that that list never got out. I have seen the first page of the list myself. DeCarlos Brown Jr. is right there. You didn't have to look very hard to see his name on the list. Of course, he went on to brutally murder Irina at the Charlotte Light Rail. And you have to think, if he worked so hard to keep this list under wraps, to make sure that the list didn't get out there, what about the victims of the 3,500 individuals who may have been victims of rape, of robbery, of assault, that were not made aware that their perpetrators were back on the streets? This absolutely disqualifies Roy Cooper from running for office in the future. This is a shame, and we need to make sure to vote for Michael Whatley for U.S. Senate.
I think we all can agree that man should not have been allowed to roam the streets. All right, Danielle Alvarez, thank you.
Information. Truth. is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.